One person cleans your house for a few $100s. Another can make six figures just to know how you like your eggs. And at the highest level, the job isn't cleaning your house, it's making sure you never notice anyone is there. Let's meet the staff. Level 1. The Weekly Cleaner. Level 1 is the normal version, a cleaning service once or twice a week, a few $100s a visit. Someone vacuums while you're at work and leaves before you get home. That's not staff, that's a service. There's a difference, and the difference is about to get enormous. Nobody signs an NDA for this. Nobody gets a uniform. You don't know their kids' names, and they don't know yours. The home cleaning industry as a whole is reportedly worth tens of billions of dollars globally, almost entirely built on exactly this kind of anonymous, forgettable, twice-a-week arrangement. Level 1 isn't rare. It's the least remarkable transaction on this entire list. Everything past this point stops being a transaction. Level 2. The Six-Figure House Manager. 6 figures to manage a house. Recruitment agencies specializing in ultra-high net worth households, firms like Tiger Recruitment and Silver Swan, reportedly publish annual salary surveys putting experienced private house managers anywhere from $100,000 to $250,000 a year, sometimes more, for households running multiple properties across different countries. That's not a typo. That's more than plenty of actual managers make running actual departments at actual companies. A house manager for a single ultra-wealthy household can reportedly out-earn a mid-level executive at a Fortune 500 company for a job with no MBA requirement listed anywhere on the posting. The job isn't cleaning, it's running an entire operation. Staff schedules, vendor relationships, security coordination, restocking the specific brand of sparkling water somebody likes, and doing it so smoothly the family never has to think about any of it happening at all. Level 3. The Butler School. Picture this, a converted castle in the Netherlands. Rows of students in white gloves learning formal table settings, wine service, and how to pack a suitcase for a private jet in under 10 minutes. This is a real place. The International Butler Academy, founded by Robert Wennekes and based in a Dutch castle, reportedly trains staff from around the world for careers serving royalty, billionaires, and heads of state. Tuition for a full course reportedly runs into the thousands of dollars. The academy reportedly places graduates with clients around the world, and reported demand has apparently outpaced supply for years. Private households competing for a genuinely limited pool of people willing to spend months mastering skills most people will never once need in their entire lives. Nobody's born knowing how to do any of this. Apparently, you can go to school for it. Because none of this started with billionaires, it started with actual royal courts, centuries before anyone had a net worth to put on a list. Level 4. The Silent Service Tradition. The modern butler wasn't trained to be noticed, he was trained to disappear. Aristocratic households for centuries reportedly built that into the actual job description, never making eye contact with guests, entering and leaving rooms without being seen, existing in a kind of trained peripheral vision. A good butler, by that old standard, wasn't the one you praised, he was the one you forgot was in the room. Some large Victorian and Edwardian houses reportedly built the entire separation directly into the architecture. A green baize door reportedly divided the family's rooms from the servant side of the house, the fabric specifically chosen to muffle sound so a family member would never accidentally overhear the household actually running. On the other side of that door were entire separate staircases and corridors, so staff could move through the house without their paths ever crossing the families. The uniform changed. The instinct to disappear on command never did. Level 5. The NDA Economy. Hollywood didn't invent the airtight non-disclosure agreement. Household staff for the ultra-wealthy have reportedly been signing them for decades, often stricter than anything a studio would ask a co-star to sign. Some household employees reportedly sign confidentiality agreements that cover what happens inside the home. Who visits, what they see, and what they hear, sometimes extending for years or decades after the employee has left. Breach clauses in some contracts reportedly specify damages running into the millions, a number specifically designed to make even a tabloid payday not worth the risk. Some contracts reportedly go further still, restricting staff from writing memoirs, giving interviews, or even privately discussing their employment with family members. Clauses that reportedly outlast the job itself by a decade or more. A former staffer isn't just quiet while employed. They're contractually quiet for a large chunk of the rest of their life. Level 6. The staff behind the staff. At this level, the maid isn't one person, it's an organization. Large family offices reportedly employ dozens of household staff across multiple properties. A house manager overseeing individual property managers who oversee housekeepers, chefs, drivers, security, and personal assistants. An entire org chart that would look completely normal pinned to a corporate wall, except every single person on it exists to serve one family. The largest private estates reportedly employ staff numbering well into the dozens year-round, sometimes over 100 during peak season when a family is actually in residence. A headcount that would qualify as a mid-size company anywhere else, except the entire product is one household running invisibly. Recruitment agencies reportedly place staff specifically trained to work in these layered households, where a housekeeper might never actually interact with the family directly at all, reporting instead to a property manager who reports to a house manager who's the only person who actually speaks to the principal. Level 7. The product is invisibility. Here's the part that reframes everything you just watched. At level 7, you're not paying someone to clean your house. You're paying for the house to behave as if nobody works there. The staff knows where everything is, when everyone arrives, when everyone leaves, what gets said, what doesn't get said, and when to disappear. Compare that to level 1, the weekly cleaner who leaves and you never think about again. The entire industry above that level spent decades and enormous sums of money trying to recreate that exact same feeling, of nothing having happened, of no one having been there, at a scale and a price tag the original weekly cleaner could never have imagined charging for. The best employee isn't the one you remember, it's the one you never noticed. The weekly cleaner leaves a receipt. The six-figure house manager leaves nothing. Same job, technically, completely different contract. 7 levels, and the entire industry was built on one skill nobody puts on a resume: knowing exactly when to not be seen. And if you want the version with the receipts, the NDAs, the training manuals, the whole staffing chart, it's all linked below. QR's on screen. See you in the next one.